guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Linn. I'm glad you stopped by. So for today's video, we are gonna create a gorgeous and timeless bridal makeup. This is pretty much how I'm gonna look on my own wedding day. I will also be sharing my best tips and tricks throughout this video regarding doing your own makeup from a makeup artist point of view. So I have decided to do my own makeup when it comes to my wedding day, just because I know my face, I know what products works, what doesn't work. And since I am a makeup artist as well, I feel like I can do the job without any problem. So I will be sharing some great tips with you guys that will really help you out if you decide to do your own makeup like I have decided. I will be sharing tips throughout this whole video. So when we do eyes, I will talk a little bit about eyeshadows, what tips and tricks to keep in mind. So the first thing you need to consider when it comes to your bridal makeup is, do you want to hire a professional makeup artist or do you want to do your makeup yourself? That is like the first question you need to ask yourself, and by watching this video I will be sharing my best tips and tricks. So hopefully at the end of this video you will feel more secure when it comes to doing your own makeup on your wedding day. So if you decide to hire a makeup artist, I will also recommend to do a tryout session at least 4 weeks before the wedding. The sooner you can do it, the better, because when it comes to your wedding makeup, you want it to be perfect, you want all the products to work on your face, and you don't know if the products really will last throughout the whole day. So therefore I recommend to have this tryout session at least 4 weeks prior, so you get to wear the makeup the whole day after your session to see if it really lasts, see if you need to change out anything. And by doing it 4 weeks earlier, you can go back and maybe have another tryout session if you are feeling like the makeup is a total fiasco. Another great thing to do at your tryout session would be to create 2 different eye looks, and that you can do also by yourself at home if you decide to do your own makeup. Maybe one with a winged liner and maybe one without, one all matte look, and also one with shimmer. And that is a great way to find out what you want on your actual wedding day. And if you are on Pinterest and you're scrolling to bridal makeup and you find 2 or 3, make sure to try them all out, because when you look at a picture it can look beautiful on someone else, and then when you try it out for yourself you're not feeling your most beautiful, and that is what you're gonna feel on your wedding day. You should feel the most beautiful, you should feel confident. So therefore it's very important to try out different kind of looks so you know exactly what you want. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into the actual tutorial is that you need to have your skincare routine locked down as well. Skincare is just as important as your makeup. You can't expect to have a flawless looking face without having a good skincare routine. So just be sure to moisturize, do a peeling, exfoliate, do all these steps necessary that your skin will not crack up, look dry, and that you are moisturized and feeling fresh. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you will not miss future videos. I have so many fun videos coming up. We have decorate the venue with me, we have wedding related videos, we have the wedding video itself, and I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm getting married in 6 days, which is crazy. So if you want to know how I created this timeless, gorgeous wedding makeup and also know my best tips and tricks from a makeup artist point of view, then please keep watching. So for your wedding day, it is extremely important that your makeup actually lasts all day, or at least as long as possible. So prime is very important, and I'm gonna start by using the Smashbox primer water. And then I also am going to use my favorite primer of all time. This is the Guerlain Makeup Concentrate. So I recommend when it comes to your wedding day to actually use products that you know really work for your face and products that you have tested out before. Like, don't be bold and try out something new on probably the most important makeup day of your life. Using a great primer is key, but I like to mix these two because especially primer water for my skin makes the makeup last so much longer. I can really see a difference with this one. So if you haven't tried this is a great product. Even if you're not getting married, this primer is amazing, and this is also great for adding a little bit of radiance back into your life. So for my wedding day, I'm actually gonna mix both of these foundations. This is the Armani Luminous Silk. And then I'm also gonna add a little bit of the Too Faced Born This Way. So I'm just adding 2 pumps of each foundation onto the sponge, and then we're gently gonna apply it to the skin. But keep in mind that I bought the Too Faced Born This Way just to fit my self-tan as well, and since I'm not tan, it will look a little bit darker on me now. Combo is so beautiful and it lasts so well, especially on my skin, so I really love it. As you can see, this is a little bit darker than what I am when I'm not self-tan, but I'm gonna be self-tan on my wedding day. But also keep in mind to drag your foundation down your neck as well and all the way down to your neckline. But this really depends on your dress. If you have a v-neck or whatever, just make sure to really get your foundation all over your neck as well, because that will look a lot more natural than if you have a line right here. So for concealer on my wedding day, I'm gonna use the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I love this, and this is in the shade Chantilly. I feel like this covers so well and I'm just so impressed by this concealer. So I used to love the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but I feel like this has a little bit more coverage. So I'm not gonna add a bunch of concealer doing the whole triangle thing, because a wedding makeup should be a little bit more natural, and I rather apply a little bit and then go back in with more if I feel like I want more coverage. If you add a lot of concealer, it can easily crease or settle into fine lines, and we don't want that on our wedding day. Just gonna add a little bit more around my lash line because I tend to be a little bit more red. So next I'm gonna do my brows, but I'm gonna do them off camera because I feel like everybody has their own way of doing brows, and my brows actually takes forever and I really have to be very up close in the mirror. But the products that I'm gonna use are from Dior. So we have the Dior Brow Pencil in the shade Dark Brown, and then I'm also gonna use the Dior Show Bold Mascara in the shade number 2. These last all day, and this mascara is also waterproof, so your brows will not go anywhere, and that is what I really love. So I'm just quick gonna jump off camera, do my brows, and then I will be right back. So when it comes to foundation, especially on your wedding day, I would recommend never try anything new. So do your makeup a couple of times before your actual wedding day, because then you can see if you need to change anything. You can see if you get more oily by using a new primer, how the foundation actually lasts and all that. My number 1 tip is to not use a foundation with SPF. If you go out looking for a new foundation, be sure that you don't have any SPF, and it will be so sad once you get your photos back and you actually see a white cast in your face and that your face is actually paler than the rest of your body. So just keep that in mind. Don't use any makeup products with SPF whatsoever on your wedding day to avoid having a white cast on all your photos from the flash. So that is probably my number 1 tip when it comes to foundations. And I also quick wanted to mention these 2 that I'm using because these are my favorite. So I like to mix these 2 just because I want the coverage from the Born This Way. This is a medium to full coverage. You can build it up, and the Armani Luminous Silk gives this flawless luminous skin. So therefore, by mixing this, you get the coverage, you get the hold, and you also get a little bit of that luminosity to your skin. So that was just something I totally forgot to mention while adding on the foundation. And if you have to use a product with SPF, make sure to take a lot of photos with flash from different kinds of cameras before, to make sure you don't get that white cast in your face. That is probably my most important tip, and I know that a lot of people don't know this tip because you actually learn this in beauty school. So therefore I just wanted to share it with you guys so you are now aware, especially if you're doing your own makeup and you don't want to have a professional makeup artist coming home to you. So next we are gonna set the foundation and also the under eyes. So to start off, I'm gonna use the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in the shade Luminous Light, and this I'm gonna apply on my under eyes because that is my problem area. That is the area that I actually get a little bit dry if I bake. So I'm just gently gonna add this, and by adding this powder as well, you get a little bit of that natural glow back to your skin, and it will actually reflect some light. And next I'm gonna take the Sansei loose powder, and this we're actually gonna use to set the rest of our face. I'm not using this on my under eyes because I know it can look a little bit dried and crack up. So that is also a great tip that I have for you guys. So do not bake your under eyes if you tend to have dryness under your eyes, or you you have any small fine lines, because it will look so dry if you're not using the right products or the right amount of powder. And like me, I have this fine line right here, so if I bake and I add a ton of concealer, I will get a lot of concealer in this line and it will look dry, it will be more visible on photos, and it will just not look good. So therefore I love to use a lighter powder for my under eyes, just because it will look a lot more natural and you will avoid the creasing, the dryness and everything. So the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to use today are the Kylie Bible collab with Anastasia. So I also think I will step into the Jeffree Star Orgy palette just to have more of those matte brown shades. But this palette contains so many gorgeous shades that are perfect for wedding, because you want to keep it simple, or at least that is what I plan on. I want to have a more brown, natural, matte, smoky eye with a little bit of shimmer going on the lids. Make sure that the makeup you are actually wearing on your day is something you will look back at in 10 years and you will still love it. So if you go very bold and crazy and you follow a trend, it may not be as popular 10 years from now, and you still want to look back at those wedding photos and you still want to love how you looked. Another tip that I have for you when it comes to eyeshadow, especially if you're doing your own eyeshadow, is to start with the eyes. So I didn't start with the eyes today just because I know how I'm gonna play with these shadows without having fallouts. But if you're doing your own makeup and you are using a palette that has a lot of fallout and kickback in the pans, be very careful once you apply them, or do your eyes first, so you will not get a lot of fallout on your makeup base and then you have to take off everything and apply foundation and concealer again. So before we do our eyeshadow, it's so important to prime, and I'm actually going to use the same concealer as I did under my eyes, because I know that this actually lasts very well and that my makeup will stay on all day. So I love to use a concealer. I feel like different eyeshadow bases can be very hard to work with. So next I'm going to dip into this shade right here, which is called Bear, and we are just gently going to go over the concealer that we just added on to set everything. And by doing this, we will make sure that the concealer will not crease, it will not go anywhere. So next we're gonna dip into Shy, which is a matte brown tone, and we're gonna start by adding this into our crease. So just make sure that you take one step at a time and make everything look blended and seamlessly put together. I'm also gonna take this shadow down and add it to the outer part of the lids. And what I'm doing is that I'm placing the shadow where I want it and then I'm blending it. But since I also have a little bit of hooded eyes, I make sure that I blend it a little bit upwards and not only in the crease as well, to kind of give my face a little lift. So next I'm gonna dip into the Orgy palette from Jeffree Star, and I'm gonna take this shadow right here, which is called Craving Chocolate. So what I'm gonna do is to place this also in the crease and add a little bit more definition. So I'm gonna do the exact same. I'm gonna dip into the palette, I'm gonna take one step at a time, and we're gonna build up the intensity. This is such a gorgeous color. These two colors together are looking stunning in real life. So I feel like I want a little bit more definition on the outer part of the eye. So I'm going to take an even darker shade, which is called Booby Trap. And this we are going to place right into the crease and also on the outer C of the lid. So I'm going to blend what's left a little bit inwards as well. So we're going to just repeat that, do the same thing on the other side. So we're building it up one step at a time, and I feel like I'm starting to get very satisfied with how the intensity of the shadow is looking. So now I'm going to take the same blending brush that we used at the start, and I'm going to go back into the Kylie Bible palette, add a little bit more of that Shy, and just blend everything together. So I'm going on top of pretty much every single color that we just applied. And then I'm also going to take the shade Beer that we used to set our concealer. So I'm just going to apply that on top of our brow bone. And this will kind of also make the line fade a little bit. So if you have a very harsh line and you want it to go away, this is a great tip. Just take a lighter, like skin kind of color and just blend it on top. That will make the lines appear more blended and everything will look more smooth. So now that I am satisfied with the intensity of the crease, we're going to take this shade, which is called MUA, and this is a gorgeous shimmery shade. So what we're going to do is to apply some Fix Plus to the brush. And this is a gorgeous shadow, you guys. I am obsessed. And then I'm going back in with this smaller blending brush. I'm just going to take the shadow Shy again, and we're going to blend these two shadows together. So now we're going to take Shy again, and we're going to place this on our lower lash. So I think I'm satisfied right now. I don't think I will apply any darker shades under my eyes because that will make my eyes appear smaller, and we don't want that for all the photos being taken that day. And the same goes for eyeliner. Some people don't want it, some people are not used to wearing it, and some people may feel uncomfortable by the thought of actually doing your eyeliner on that day. I would recommend on your tryout session 2 different kinds of eye look, so you can actually see for yourself. Do one with a wing and one without, so that way you can see which one you like the most, and you can actually wear it around the house for a day and see which one holds the best, see how you feel about it a couple of hours later, and so on. Because you can look at a picture on Pinterest, go to your makeup artist and say, I want this look, but when you actually get it on your face, you feel uncomfortable, you don't feel like yourself. So now I'm just gonna do my winged liner. So I'm gonna use the Maybelline Eye Studio Lasting Drama Gel Eyeliner. This is 24-hour hold, so therefore I decided to go for this one. So I'm just gonna scoop a little bit out of the container, add it to the back of my hand right here. But what I love to do when I apply my liner is actually to use a paint brush. These are so small, so precise, so if you feel like these kinds of brushes are hard to work with, especially for a very small detailed liner, I would really recommend you to go for a paintbrush instead. So I like to keep my eyes open and looking straight forward when I am going to draw in the wing, because then you get to see how it will look once you do the whole line. If you keep your eyes closed, once you open it, it can be a little bit downwards, a little bit too high. So just make sure if you're doing your makeup yourself and you don't feel like you're mastering doing an eyeliner, just practice a little bit and try to do this step. Change out the brush, change out the product, and also make sure to look straight forward in the mirror while you are doing the actual wing. So what I have done is to apply it pretty much like 2/3 into the eyes. By doing the liner all the way to your inner eyes, your eyes can appear smaller, and I really don't want to make my eyes appear smaller on my actual wedding day. And this will kind of cover where the lash will be as well. If you do your eyes first, your liner, before applying foundation, you can actually take a brush like this one, a very sharp flat brush. You can take some moisturizer on it and just drag it upwards to sharpen out your liner, and it will look so sharp, so beautiful. So that is a great tip if you are not that good at doing a liner, you really want to have a liner for your wedding day, and you know it will not look as sharp as you want it. That is a great tip. Add some moisturizer to the back of your hand, just dip your brush, and then just start to draw out the line, and it will look perfect. Now I'm just gonna quick jump off the camera, do some mascara, add on the lashes, and I will be right back so we can finish off the skin. So now that the lashes and mascara is on, another tip that I want to share is if you can still see a little bit of that white residue from the glue even after the glue has dried down, just make sure that you go over with the pencil that you used to apply your gel liner, and just make sure that you don't have any glue residue or any white cast going on, and make sure that everything is black. So a lot of people don't think about it, especially also when applying mascara. If you're not using lashes, you can still see that you haven't gotten the mascara all the way down to your roots. And then there's a great way to use a flat definer brush or your gel liner brush, and just make sure that you actually are painting on mascara all the way down to the roots of your lashes. So now let's go ahead and add some bronzer and glow back to our skin. So I'm gonna use the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. This is like pretty much my favorite bronzer, and I love that it is so affordable as well. So I'm just gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna bronze up and contour my cheekbones. Make sure to add a lot in the temple as well, and also up in the forehead. And also a great tip that I want to share when applying bronzer is to make sure that you don't apply too low, because that will make your face appear wider. So the higher you place your bronzer, the more of a lifted effect you will get. Make sure to drag it all the way back to your hairline and in the temples and upwards. I like to apply it on top of my cheekbones, so it will give my face a more lifted look. We also am going to add some bronzer underneath our chin, because we don't want that double chin showing up at the pictures. And instead of applying bronzer on top of my jawline, I'm actually going underneath it, and this will give more of a depth to the face as well. So I'm just making sure that I get it all the way underneath my jaw instead of applying it on top of the bone. And this is a new technique that I started with a couple of months ago, and I can see a huge difference. Also be sure to bronze up that neck. And I'm gonna add a little bit on the side of the nose. I'm not doing any nose contour on my wedding day. I just want a more natural looking bronzed nose. So for blush, I'm going to use the MAC Extra Dimension blush in the shade Faux Sure. This is definitely a beautiful shadow, and it also has a little bit of sheen to it, so it will give a little bit of luminosity back to the skin. And the same goes for the blush. I will not apply it on my actual apples of the cheek. I will keep it a little bit higher and actually blend it in to the bronzer, and this will also make your face appear more lifted. And I'm also going all the way back to my temples as well. And this is also a great technique to use if you want your face to look a little bit more lifted, to actually blend the blush into the bronzer and don't just apply it on the apples of the cheek, because that can make your face appear wider. So I've just now added a tiny amount of the Becca Champagne Pop. I have not wet the brush just because I wanted to look a little bit more subtle on my wedding day. And now I'm gonna apply a little bit of that MAC Soft and Gentle. I'm just gonna swirl it around, tap off the excess, and just go on top. But I will not go overboard with this one because it will not look as beautiful in pictures, and I want it to look more subtle and natural. And to finish off the look, it is time for lips. I have decided to go for very nude, beautiful lips. So what I'm going to use is the Jeffree Star lip liner in the shade Celebrity Skin, mixed with a dose of colors Bear With Me. This is a gorgeous combination. I will not overline my lips a lot since it is my wedding day. So I would keep it very natural and just overline it a little bit in the middle. And also when it comes to your lip color on your wedding day, I would recommend to go for a nude color. I know a lot of people that were bold enough to actually wear red, and that is so gorgeous. So if you really want to have a red lip, definitely go for it. It is so gorgeous. It is actually one of my favorite colors to wear. But I feel like for my wedding day, by looking back at the pictures, I really want to have a nude lip because that will never go out of style and it looks beautiful. And this has like a gorgeous pink tone to it as well. So my lips are a little bit dry right now, and I would recommend to have a gloss on top on your actual day, especially if your lips are a little bit dry, because that will take away all the dryness. But I will of course exfoliate every single day until Saturday, just to make sure we don't have any dryness. But we have been sick for the past 2 weeks. Luckily it wasn't COVID, but therefore my lips are a dry mess right now. So I will top it off with a little bit of this Jeffree Star lip gloss. This is not the gloss that I am going to wear on the actual day. I will be wearing my Lancome 202, which is my favorite, but it will do for now. So now that the makeup is all done, I'm gonna set my face with the YSL Makeup Setting Spray Hydrating. This is such a great setting spray. I really love it. Even if it is hydrating, it really makes your makeup stay on. So on your actual makeup day, I would recommend to have a little makeup bag with you that your maid of honor can have, where you have your lipstick, lip gloss, loose setting powders, and everything you need to touch up your makeup throughout the day. It is always handy to have, and especially a mirror as well, so you can touch up in the car, touch up right before you're going into church, after church, before photos, after photos, and all that. So this is the final look, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned some tips and tricks throughout this video. If you're getting married yourself, your friend is getting married, share this video with them. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. right away. I have so many fun videos coming. Next video will be a vlog where you get to see some of the decor that I've hauled for the wedding, and we will go down to the venue and decorate the whole venue. So that will be an interesting one. And also don't forget, my wedding video will be out pretty soon after the wedding as well. So yeah, when that has been said, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah.